The coronavirus outbreak is going to be the topic of this morning's video. Good morning, everybody. Okay, if you're thinking, hey, this is a crypto channel, why is this morning's topic the coronavirus outbreak? And is it linked to cryptocurrency? Is it linked to Bitcoin? The answer is that from time to time, I will be reporting on other topics that I feel are relevant and are newsworthy. And no, it is not specifically meant to be related to cryptocurrency in any way. However, towards the end of this video, we will just discuss some of the possibilities and some of the reasons how it is linked to Bitcoin. Purely because, as I'm sure you all know, I'm very passionate about Bitcoin. Now, let's just dive into this and get an idea of what is happening with this coronavirus outbreak. For those of you that don't know, this virus started out round about December. In fact, it was December, and it wasn't really well reported. There wasn't a lot going on with it. Some of the reasons that I have decided to report on it is because up until yesterday, there was no reported cases in the entire continent of Africa, and the virus didn't seem that it was going to be spread internationally. However, I thought to myself, if it got to the point where it did reach Africa, and even more seriously, South Africa, I would definitely report. The good news is that at this point, it has not reached South Africa. So there's not a single case of the coronavirus in South Africa. However, it has reached the continent of Africa, which to me is concerning. Another reason that was very, very scary and very worrying to me is if you look at this map, we can see that the total confirmed cases of the coronavirus reported by the Chinese government is 4,400 odd. Now, 4,400 odd. Yesterday, it was only 2,000. That means that in the space of less than 24 hours, it has doubled. And if you know anything about maths and you know anything about exponential growth, if something doubles, it is a huge cause for concern. So just having a quick look here, China, the city that it broke out in is Wuhan. There's a lot of cases reported. The majority of the cases are there. This map is really a very good overview of what is happening in the world with the coronavirus. This virus has broken out. We've got a total number of 107 deaths. But on the upside, we've got 63 people that have recovered from this virus and are well again. To date, there is no cure for the virus. Antibiotics, as you know, work on bacterial infections, so they won't work. There is no cure, there is no vaccine, although the authorities and a lot of medical institutes are obviously working on it. Now, we're going to get into exactly what is the virus and what we need to know about it, how we can protect ourselves, how we can avoid the spread of this virus if it ever got to South Africa. But before we do that, we're just going to look at some of the numbers, and there's a lot of rumors in the press that the Chinese government is not releasing the true figures of and the true nature of this pandemic. So the official figures stand at 4,400. However, China or Wuhan has a population of around about 11 million people. And from some of the research that I've done, their hospitals can manage 50 to 70,000 people. So if we've only got 4,000 people that are infected or confirmed infected with the virus, it seems weird that the Chinese government and the Chinese authorities have started building hospitals that are expected to be finished within 6 days. Now, some reports say within a fortnight, but as you can see, just looking at the web and looking at a lot of articles that are out there, the Chinese government is building hospitals to cope with this pandemic. Now, these hospitals are going up in record time within a week or 2 weeks, and builders are working round the clock. Now, you may or may not know that it is currently Chinese New Year, so in the height of the festivities, we have people that are building hospitals to cope with this pandemic. So that is one of the things that started to scare me or got me interested and got me to start looking into this in a little bit more detail. In addition to that, the World Health Organization has classified it as a phase 4 pandemic. As you can see here, it is not yet a phase 5 pandemic, which would indicate that international concern is required. So at this stage, still phase 4, because of the rumors that the Chinese government, the Chinese authorities are not sending over true figures or are not enlightening the international community of what exactly is going on, the representative or the head of the World Health Organization is actually going over to China to have a look and to get first-hand visuals and see what is happening in China firsthand. So if China is reporting or they are lowballing the figures, this will very soon be made public. And this is possibly some of the reasons that we saw yesterday. The figure that was only at 2,000 has doubled overnight. Maybe it's just a simple case that China is playing catch up. Now let's get into a bit more about this virus, what you need to know about it, and how you can protect yourself about it. Some of the scary things about this virus, because it is a similar strain of the SARS virus, which we saw in 2002 or 2003. However, the SARS virus was not as contagious as this virus is. In addition to this, the SARS virus, you had to have symptoms and you were obviously sick before you could spread this virus. The coronavirus, and just so that you know, they all are a form of coronavirus, but the coronavirus has an incubation period of between 2 and 5 days. A lot of people saying it can extend up to 10 days, where you can be feeling fine. There's no symptoms. You can be traveling, you can be happy, you can feel great, yet you are still transmitting this virus. So that makes this virus very, very difficult to contain. In addition to that, if you cough on something or moisture from your lungs mainly is left on, let's say, for example, a bus railing, a doorknob, that virus can stay alive for up to 5 days, which is a very, very unusual for a virus. And if you touch that virus and you get it on your hands, you're still safe at that point. But if you rub your eye or rub your mouth, any of the mucous membranes, that virus can infect you. The virus infects the respiratory tract, and infection is through the lungs. Now, it creates flu-like symptoms, so you would have what is considered a severe case of flu, and you wouldn't know if it was the coronavirus or not, or just simply flu. If you are particularly young or particularly old, you are very vulnerable to this virus, and it could result in death. We don't know exactly how this virus works, but what we are seeing is that if you are healthy, strong, have got a good immune system, you have got a very good chance of actually working this virus through your body and coming out on the other side healthy and strong. And once, of course, you've kicked the virus, you are immune to it because your body has the necessary antibodies, so you couldn't theoretically get it a second time. But these figures are not looking promising. 107 deaths and 63 people have made it through. We, of course, don't know how many of these guys are close to recovery or close to death. But obviously, it's new. We will have to stay and watch and just be vigilant. In South Africa, no cases. Very, very good. In Ivory Coast, there is one confirmed case, which simply means that this virus is on the African continent, which, if it does spread as quickly as a lot of people have said, cause for concern. The virus has, of course, spread to North America, it's spread to France, it's spread to Germany, and it has spread to Australia. But very minimal cases, and at this stage, as far as I know, there are no deaths outside of China or Wuhan. Okay, I hope I've given some basic information about this virus. Obviously, at this stage, there is no concern. We don't need to worry about it. Single case in the continent of Africa. Not very newsworthy, but something to certainly keep your eye on. Let's just look at cryptocurrencies. Despite Chinese New Year, despite a lot of people thinking that the price is going to go down. We are this morning up above 9,000 US dollars. Now, I'm sure that you're going to hear a lot of people saying how the coronavirus and the Bitcoin price is connected, but I'm not going to go into that now. I think it's early days, and I don't think that it is reasonable to start drawing correlations at this point. However, it is reported that in Wuhan, China, a population of 11 million, 5 million are out of the country. 5 million people have fled the country. It could be because of Chinese New Year, or it could be that they simply want to get out of a potentially infectious, dangerous environment. The mayor of the has actually said that he would resign because he feels that he hasn't contained this outbreak as well as he could. He's put his head on the platter and said, guys, I would offer my resignation, which at this stage hasn't been accepted because for all intents and purposes, he has been doing the best he can. But going back to the fact that we've had 5 million people leave Wuhan, it could be possible that these people cannot leave with a native currency because China, as you know, has capital controls and restrictions on currency, which would make Bitcoin a very, very good currency to own, a very good currency to hold. In addition to that, most of the miners are in China, and if they are concerned about this virus and they are concerned that they may need to flee, we might see that they are stopping the sale of the mining profits because of the rumors and because they just want to hold on to Bitcoin to wait and see. But it could be 1,000 things. This is at this stage merely speculation. However, the price of Bitcoin up above 9,000 US dollars, very encouraging to see. Guys, give me your comments below, covering topics that are not strictly related to crypto, covering topics that I believe are pertinent and are of value to us as a community, things that we need to watch out for and keep our eyes on. Drop your comments below. You guys know I always very much appreciate the comments. Hit the thumbs up button if you like this video and subscribe to my channel. I'd very much appreciate it. That's it from me. I'm out.